Hey, what's up, Rams fan? This is Trent here with another edition of Rams Talk. And today I'm going to talk about one of the worst games I've ever seen in my life. That debacle against the Ravens. Yeah, I know it was the first game of the preseason, but that was tough to watch. I mean, I recorded it, and it's a good thing I could kind of fast forward through parts because not only was the offense atrocious, but I guess a lot of the new rules that were instituted just like made this game drag with so many penalties and reviews and everything. It just was like, it was rough. It was rough. It was almost as rough as the Atlanta game in the playoffs last year, and that actually meant something. This one, for a meaningless game, was truly meaningless. So, without further ado, let's just get into that game. So, positives: no one got injured. Thank God. I mean, Ethan Westbrook's was a little shaken up, maybe some concussion, but no one tore an ACL like the running back from Washington, Geis. I mean, that's tough right there. That's what you want to avoid. And I really have no objections to Sean McVay holding the starters out for the majority of the preseason, because there really is no advantage other than maybe getting some reps in real-time action. Maybe have them play for 2 or 3 drives or a quarter, but if they really went into the season without getting any meaningful reps, I wouldn't have a problem with it, because this will lead into my second point. But the last player that the Rams can afford to lose is Jared Goff, and that's because the backups to Jared Goff are atrocious. Sean Mannion, half man, half onion, Mannion. I was watching that guy when he was at Oregon State. He was always pretty good. I think he was a 3rd-round pick. You'd think a 3rd-round pick would be better in his 4th year, 2nd year under McVay. But I mean, the offensive line was going against the Baltimore's first team defense. So you have Suggs out there. So I mean, that's just going to be rough, and I get that. But like, his throws look lackadaisical. Like, he couldn't even hit the check down. You know, he was overthrowing guys. He looked like he had a concussion, and he just was kind of slow and just rusty. I don't know. I mean, I know it's the first like actual game action of the year, and people are knocking rust off, but you didn't see that from Baltimore and Lamar Jackson. So Mannion really looked bad, and that goes to I mean, what do the Rams do if Goff misses time? And in the order of players the Rams can least afford to lose is Goff number 1, because Mannion is, I mean, he's not taking you to the playoffs, I'm sorry to say. Gurley number 2, because as good as Malcolm Brown and Justin Davis and John Kelly are looking, they're not Todd Gurley. Number 3 would be Andrew Whitworth, because locking down that blind side, I mean, was one of the most underrated moves the Rams made last year. So basically, the top 3 players they can afford to lose, or at least afford to lose, would be on the offensive side of the ball, with probably Aaron Donald being the 4th one. So that kind of like dovetails into the Aaron Donald extension, and why should he be the highest paid player on the team and getting quarterback money when he's really like the 4th most important player on the team. Anyways, I digress. Bright spots were the running backs. When they weren't getting pummeled behind the line of scrimmage, they were really breaking off some runs. Justin Davis looked good, had some ball security issues last year, so it's good to see him, you know, really put his best foot forward. And John Kelly looked great too. Both really shined, and I think that it's just going to be tough to have 4 running backs on the roster. So we'll see how that plays out. But it should be fun watching them. I think the other aspect of this was on the defensive side, I really thought Micah Kiser did a good job. I watched a couple plays where he really sniffed out the run and like shed blockers, or just kind of like made a really good angle to the ball, and really impressed me. I mean, I think in pass coverages, he's going to suffer a bit, but in obvious run situations, I think Micah Kiser can really make a name for himself. Other than that, I mean, that game was just, it sucked. And I really hope that the next game, preseason game, Mannion figures it out, because I could see if he doesn't, he's not going to be the number 2 quarterback and might not even make the team. That's probably a little hyperbole, but the Rams should really focus on getting a solid backup. I mean, I've seen like random guys on teams, like Matt Schaub is still in the league and he's a backup. I would think that he could probably be a little more serviceable. I totally thought he was gone. There was another QB2 that kind of blew my mind that he was still around. I think Colt McCoy is still around. So, I mean, if those guys can hang on, there's got to be a better option than Sean Mannion out there. Anyways, Sean, I don't want to be too hard on you. You can make it up. So, let's go. Anyways, that's it for this edition of Rams Talk. I took a lot of time off, but I'm back. A lot of things have happened. Todd Gurley, Brandon Cooks extensions, all good, all great. So it's good to be back talking about the Rams. Now we got something to talk about. And if you haven't subscribed, please do so. And thanks for watching. Go Rams.